Alright, take two. This time with a VHS-C tape that's not going to screw around with me. I'm sure everybody remembers this piece of Chinese plastic garbage thing. Look how messed up that is. Yeah, the motor mounts are gone. It's got no motor mounts left. This blade had to be taped together. Oh man, yeah, it's screwed up. There's a chunk missing out of this one. But it does actually still work. See if I can get a good shot of this. If it kills me, well, it'll make good YouTube. Except it probably will never get uploaded. Which could be a problem. So hopefully it doesn't kill me. Do not try this at home, or at a warehouse, or anywhere for that matter. It's very unsafe. I'm just trying to prove a point. It's so off balance it's gonna fall in a second. But it works. You can tell that it works. If I wasn't like putting my shoulder in the camera. Just to show you again. Listen how crappy it runs, though. You can hear anything over wind noise. This fan, or, well, if you can even call it a fan, I put in my window there, and the reason why I do that is so I can get some air in here, because it gets really hot otherwise. You know, after a low-end radio broadcast and all of this stuff has been on, generates a lot of heat. Put this in the window, brings the cool air in, and it has worked nicely for that. Fill out the window a couple of times, and you can see it hasn't fared too well. Because it's cheap Chinese garbage. I was going to do an unboxing of this, but as it turns out, it actually doesn't even come in a box. That's how cheap they've got. But it is all metal. Now, it's not exactly the best grade of metal, but it's still metal. It's actually not too bad. I mean, it's not super cheap, chintzy, low grade. I mean, this is kind of... Oh, well, that would be why there's a protective label on the front of it. I might just leave that there. Leave the protective label on. The grills are metal. Unfortunately, the feet are plastic. But I don't think there's really much you can do about that. It's China. You can't get away from the cheap plastic. This is all metal. I think the motor is all metal. The blade set's metal, so the blade set won't fall apart like the blade set on this one did. Don't do that. That isn't safe. Because at any point in time, this little piece could come off, fly out of that opening, and hit me right in the neck, or in the eye, or in somewhere else where it will be incredibly painful and potentially life-ending. So don't do that. There's the info plate on the bottom. You can pause the video if you want to read any of that. The only thing that really matters is made in China. Thermally protected. Hopefully it's actually good. I'm going to take some of these things off. This is Designer Series. Small room, 2-speed. I actually didn't even notice until I put it face down in the car taking it home. It's actually a 2-speed fan. Thought it was just a single speed, but oh well. I'll be using it on the high speed all the time anyway, because I don't care about noise. 8 inches. I was prepared to call it a 7-inch, but it looks like it's actually an 8-inch. Carry handle for easy portability. And there's some copyright information, like they actually made this. Here's the manual. I'm surprised they actually give you a manual, although it's not really much of a manual. You know, most people just throw it away. Nobody reads manuals anymore. So I'm going to take these things off and we'll go plug it in and try it out. Okay, it is now plugged in. So without further ado, 3, 2, 1, here is high. Sounds like your typical cheap box fan. doesn't move too bad at the amount of air. Wish this stupid UPS would quit being annoying. Yeah, I'm talking about you. Here is low. Back to high. Unsurprisingly, it still manages to move more air than the piece of plastic junk, despite being a smaller size, 8 inches versus 10, I believe the China junk down there on the floor is. And here is off. Not as good as a vintage fan. But then again, having said that, there's nothing that is as good as a vintage fan. That's not why I bought this. I didn't buy it for the nice... What would you even call this color? I don't remember. I've always called it box fan blue, but... It's not quite the same color. It's close, but it isn't quite the same. I don't really know what color it actually is. And we've lost focus. Come on, camera. Anyway. I don't know what color that is, but I didn't buy it for that. I didn't buy it because, ooh, vintage or ooh, metal, although that was certainly a side effect. This is pretty much the only thing that you can get that is of any decent build quality that you can put in a window. Don't know why. I really don't understand why they don't make fans to fit in your window that are not plastic crap. But this is perfect for that. Put back on high here. This would be great for that purpose. Now, having said that, it's still China Pride, so it remains to be seen how good the bearings are. There you can see the motor in there. Looks like it might actually even stand a chance of having metal mounts as opposed to plastic, which the other one was plastic. Don't know why you would mount a motor in plastic. It's the stupidest thing ever. But they did, so what you gonna do? It's still permanently lubricated and all of that. There's not much blade pitch at all. You can look at that. It's typical for a cheap modern piece of junk fan. There's no blade pitch at all, so if you pitch those blades a little bit, you could probably get more air movement out of it, but I'm not going to touch it until, you know, the warranty expires, however long the warranty is. I should probably go look that up. It's probably in the manual that nobody reads. But anyway, there's your fan. Thank you for watching. If you have any comments, feel free to leave them down below. And this is CP666 signing off. Hope to see you next time. I think this will do very nicely in the window. Can't do any worse than the plastic thing, but time will tell how long it lasts. Till then, folks, they should appease all the people who've been asking me for more fan videos. Oh yeah, before I forget, this thing retails, I think I mentioned like about 50 bucks or something like that, 45, whatever. I picked it up for just under 30 total. And I used a gift card, so I didn't have to pay anything for it. So, if that tells you about what my expectations for it are, well then, I don't think really anything will.